happy the soldier who lives on his pay and spends half a crown out of sixpence a day, yet fears neither justices, warrants, nor bums, but pays all his debts with a roll of his drums, with a rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow-dow, and he pays all his debts with a roll of his drums. He cares not a monody how the world goes. His king finds his quarters, his money and clothes. He laughs at all sorrow whenever it comes, and he rattles away with a roll of his drums, with a rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow-dow, and he pays all his debts with a roll of his drums. The drum is his glory, his joy, his delight. It leads him to pleasure as well as to fight. No girl when she hears it, though ever so glum, but packs up her tatters and follows the drum, with a rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow, rowdy-dow-dow, and packs up her tatters and follows the drum.
Just gonna roll it, whatever.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really means that.
Half the stuff before they do what I call nastiness.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke! We are still here!
We have to say yes to socialism.
Let you know tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. I don't know what's going on here. Everything's a mess. We've got a guest in, and that's a mess. He's like getting ready to not be in. You know what? Fuck all the intros. Let's just jump into the thing while we can. We've got Toad here. Toad.
What's up?
Front-running presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party, Mr. Toad. How are you, Mr. Toad?
I'm doing all right. Toad 2024, baby. I got all your favorite people behind me right now. The TSA are right behind me here, confiscating all your shit.
You recruiting anybody while you're out there at the airport?
Yeah. Mostly the fly honeys who are walking by me right now, though.
Yeah.
Complimentary rub and tug on the way in. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason for the brief introduction, for those that aren't aware, Toad is at the airport on his way to win the nomination of president at the Libertarian Convention or what have you. Toad,
it's gonna happen. Black horse candidate, man, which is mostly referring to my cock size.
And Toad is a very serious candidate, and he is about to get on a plane. So at any moment, we will lose him and revert to actual news of relevance. But Toad, what are your predictions going into this convention and your candidacy as it comes to an inevitable, some would say close, others might say you're just getting started. What do you think?
Losses across the board. Everybody will come out of this a loser, possibly an even bigger loser than they already are.
Was that possible at a Libertarian convention?
Hard to argue. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to wind up with Chase Oliver as the nominee, Clint as the VP nominee. That's going to be quite the collision of values, I would say.
Sure. Do you think it'll be a better team up than Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen?
No.
No.
I think Chase is just that bad.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Clint sucks.
Clint is just too gay for this ticket.
Yeah, actually, he's the one that's so gay that he doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
Out of the two of them.
Obviously. Now, Toad, what I haven't had you on since you announced I've had you on in the past, but I don't think since this campaign really kicked off and things started, exploding in your political career, I don't believe I've had you on since then. How has the campaign trail been so far, and what have been some of the highlights for you?
The campaign trail had one destination for me, which was LP Georgia. I completely dominated that debate. I ended Jacob Hornberger's campaign, but I should have probably been focusing on the candidates that actually have a chance to win the nomination rather than him. Because he is, among a field of losers, he is one of the bigger losers, even amongst them, which is crazy.
Do you ever feel bad? Do you ever feel bad for beating up on an old man who's clearly slipping?
Not really. I mean,
okay. No, I do not.
He had it coming.
And by the way, I have no heart.
I'm not saying that that was your only debate performance, but that was probably the best debate. So I'm not saying it's because you were there, but we can't write that off as a possibility either. So I
really liked the North Carolina one. There was something about it that just really stood out to me. The North Carolina. But it was lacking a candidate or two cowards.
The fact that I wasn't there.
Yeah. I also challenged you, Toad, to come out to the Maryland debate that Dave and I were both at, and we were going to give you our entire lunch hour, like 2 hour or hour and a half slot to debate yourself or any other presidential candidate that showed up, which was none. Why were you a coward at that point as well? Because you could have won that.
When was that again?
Too handily.
I'm sure I was doing something. It was 420.
It was.
I was smoking pot, obviously.
I was high. I'm sorry, dog. I was high.
I just completely forgot, man. Yeah, because I got high. I'm gonna be hanging out with that dude at the event this weekend that Dan is too much of a coward to attend. Afro Man himself will be there.
I'm not a coward. I just gave up.
In previous years, Afro Man would have been an A-list Libertarian Party celebrity, but he's been demoted this year.
That's right. Yeah,
it's true.
Nobody even realizes he's going to be there. Trump's stealing the show.
Yeah.
Or me, I don't know. One of us.
One or the other. Yep.
Somebody's going to do it. Either you or Trump. It's kind of a toss-up. Who's going to get the most eyeballs on this party? But I do hope it's you. And with Trump coming and all of this circus happening, do you think that it is? I mean, there's debate over whether or not this is a positive or a negative for the Libertarian Party. You've watched the ups and downs of the Libertarian Party over the last few, I don't know, 5-10 years. Where do you think we're in a better position or a worse position? Because it's quite a debate right now.
Ooh. I mean, is it possible to get worse than being absolutely nowhere? Great shot right there. Just zoom right in there.
I was going to adjust it, but I kind of like it. I think we might. I think it's good.
Just so you know, like what I have on my face here is mayo from the roast beef sandwich I had. It wasn't. It's not jizz. Just so you know.
Not blow a TSA agent on the way in. I did not do that.
You didn't hook up in one of those multi-gender bathrooms that they got?
No, I went into one though. But nobody wanted me.
Like the all-gender bathrooms where it's just one big room with one toilet, they're great. Like, why would you not take a shit in there? Why would you go into the nasty-ass fucking men's room when you can go in the very pristine transgender room that nobody else is allowed to join you in?
That's right. Nobody goes in there. People look at the symbol for it. They're like, what the hell gender is that? I have no idea. I'm like, nobody goes in there, so I'm going in.
Yeah, it's a great place to take a nap. Get some privacy.
Yeah. Yeah, I should be doing this this show from in there.
You should be. Be nice and quiet. Do you have any plans for the debate? Is it looking like you're going to get into this debate that is happening between the candidates at the national convention?
It is not, because I'm being outfunded, outraised by a guy who's being paid off by Big Pharma and a guy who is being paid off by big pornography.
Josh?
Yeah. Yep.
Name some names. Man, name some names. What are your grievances?
Those two I was referring to are Charles Ballet, the big pharma plant, and Lars Mapstead, the ponytailed Coomer porn entrepreneur.
With this,
he makes me look like I never masturbate.
Charles Ballet.
By the way, I totally agree.
Charles Ballet. I have seen him in like 2 of the debates, and he's like winning in the polls. What are your theories?
There's some fake something behind that. I don't know. Those polls are not true. They're not real. It's going to come down to It's going to come down to Chase, Rechtenwald, and Josh are probably the actual top three.
Yeah. Now,
unfortunately, not myself.
Between Chase Rechtenwald and Josh, who do you want to be the vice presidential candidate for when you do not win the presidential nominee?
Oh, Josh.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I could say Chase though because he's definitely a bottom. So like, I'd finally be able to fuck somebody.
Now, Toad, with there's like one or two other vice presidential candidates, including your pal Kurt Russell. If you do not get the nomination, will you run for vice president against Clint Russell and join him in the vice presidential debates? I vote yes.
I should do that. It would be quite the stunt.
It would be. You want?
I got to consider that.
You want to get anywhere close to Trump attention? You versus
right.
Clint on the debate stage at the convention. Make it happen.
I don't even know who else is running besides Clint, so he needs somebody to challenge him.
Yeah.
Listen, honestly, I while you're here, Toad, I will say, I really wish that you were on the debate stage. And I think it's tragic.
Yeah.
You know, we're capitalists, and like I'm cool with the party making money, but it's sad that this essentially probably a big pharma shill. He blocked me as soon as I called him. I said Pfizer would be your only endorsement, bro. You might as well just get out of here. And he blocked me immediately. Might be telling, but he is wealthy and he's got wealthy friends that probably aren't delegates or Libertarian Party members. So they're just throwing a bunch of money. So Lars too, I'll put them in the same category. It's like Lars's slogan is unrig the system. So who does that appeal to? It appeals to probably the left who would like to get money out of politics. It's like, bro, stop flooding this party with your money to elevate yourself. That's rigging the system. You rigged our game.
Yeah, it appeals to probably nobody, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really, really gay. Unrig it.
Yeah,
Toad, genuinely, what is your goal in doing this campaign? Is it just to troll the people? Like, there's been people on Tower Gang who don't know whether or not you're telling the truth or what to make of you. So
about what? I never lie.
I don't know, white power and such. Clint seemed a little confused by that, but he would be.
All the way, man. It's
jokes
the
are hard
superior
for
race. What can I say?
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's a good joke.
Well, Toad, it's been nice having you. And here on YouTube, I would like to... well, first off, how long do you have? I want to know if we should move on to some news, and you're going to hang out, or if as soon as we move on to news, you're going to be whisked away by the TSA.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, well, they might hear what I'm saying, so I might
give us your
arrested.
closing argument that you won't be able to give on stage.
If you were to debate against these other guys, and maybe let's throw in Trump and Kennedy as well, just a debate panel, what would you say to the lot of all the candidates running?
I mean, they're all politicians, and I'm not. So, like there would be no closing statement that I would be able to say here that I wouldn't be willing to just say on the debate stage. Like, I'd just call them all losers to their face. Fuck them all.
That's it? Just losers? Fuck you guys. I'm taking my ball and going home.
I like it.
Yes.
It's like if Cartman ran for politics.
Exactly.
Fuck you guys. You're stupid. You're gay.
Listen,
I'm going home.
Listen,
This is the
draw.
party of losers, so what do you win them?
I got a microphone. I'm coming, and I'm going to go James O'Keefe the shit out of these people and call them losers to their face on camera. So if you want to do some of that while we're there, Toad, let's go down.
I do.
Now, Toad,
I absolutely do.
as the front runner in the part, or not even the front runner in the party of losers, as not even the top 3 to 5 in the party of losers, are you
Debatable.
above or below Jacob Hornberger in this race?
Oh, I'm above.
Oof.
He's got nothing.
Now, are you above him
Toad
in
literally
numbers?
has
in
Toad has
donations?
donations. Toad has hundreds of dollars more donations than Jacob Hornberger does. That's a fact.
That's true. Can't debate the facts.
It's the sad reality we live in, you guys. And
I like it. I think we're
Yeah.
on the trajectory. It's just gonna...
yeah,
It's a good thing. We're ending all of these bad libertarians, basically the phony libertarians. So Jacob Hornberger's done. Walter Block is done. Get rid of them all. Physical removal from the libertarian circles.
Strong words from a presidential candidate. Toad, who would be your first assassination when you become president?
Am I allowed to say?
No. Please don't answer that. Text me later. Or
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that Joe Biden attempted to assassinate Donald Trump?
I don't know about Joe Biden, but maybe the people who are in power potentially.
His puppeteers.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get into all that and much more interesting things. Very soon.
Israel did the Iranian helicopter thing. That was Israel. There's no question about it. Just so you know.
We're going to get into all that, and you won't be here because you'll be in the sky. You'll be in the sky. You know, right after saying all these things on the internet, you will be in the sky, where planes just sometimes fall. I hope that you make it to convention after these words, and I will be safely here. But Toad,
if I don't, you know who's responsible.
Toad, where can people find you? And any final thoughts you got, man?
Tower Gang Toad on Twitter, the Tower Gang podcast, the most offensive podcast on the planet. Better Off Dead, which is my sports gambling podcast. I was at that crazy Celtics game last night, and I talked about that on the show as well. And I don't know, you can find me wherever I physically am as well. Don't break into my house, but you know.
You can find him.
I'm willing to fight you.
Yeah. You'll find him.
So, you going to be at the Dave Smith show tomorrow night?
I am.
I'll see you there, bro.
I hate you all.
I'll see you there.
It's going to be a great time.
I hate
the two of
Dave.
us are going to have a great time.
I hate all the
cowardice,
libertarians.
Dan. It's cowardice.
I know. Some of us
I hate
have
them
jobs.
too. I absolutely hate these people.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah.
And I want to be their leader.
Well, go spread the hate for me, Toad. I appreciate it.
I will.
All right. Thanks,
I
man.
will.
Good luck on the
Thanks for
campaign
having me,
trail,
man.
and we'll catch you next
Thank
time.
You. All right. Peace.
See you, man. Okay, me and Dave, back to us. Now, to y'all, this was very last minute to have Toad on, and I figured, hey, if we can get him on, let's get him on and give him one final plug, one final push across that finish line. Not that I gave him any pushes before today, but that's the one push that I gave to that campaign because that's my level of dedication. Dave, how's it going? I mean, we're basically back to the beginning of the show now that Toad's gone, but how are you?
Bro, I don't want to gloat or rub it in your face, but I'm really excited for this weekend.
For fuck's sake, Dave.
I know. Let's talk about that some more.
Okay.
Yeah. The good people of the state of Delaware, they wouldn't make me a delegate. I only got enough votes to be an alternate because I said I wouldn't vote for Chase Oliver, so I got picked up by another state. So I got my Boogaloo shirt. That's a giveaway if you want to try and guess the state. Got my trusty James O'Keefe mic ready to go. My chick is helping me pack up all my toiletries and make sure I have all the things I need. Nice
Tampons,
couple snacks.
Deodorant.
Exactly.
All the
essentials. Man, we're going to be plugged and ready to go.
So when are you heading out?
Tomorrow, pretty early. I'm going to ride down with Mike Heiss and Jeff Douglas.
Nice.
And
get footage of that too. Get footage of everything.
Yeah.
Get footage
I
of
will.
the road. We can make something fun out of it, just like the last
I
one.
will, bro. I will. And I'm going to get man on the street stuff all over the floor while they're doing business. I'm just going to be bothering people like Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. How is your votes going? Why are you taking so long?
I like it. Now, so you're leaving tomorrow. What time are you coming back? Sunday? Are you staying for Ron Paul? How long are you staying?
Oh, I'm staying for Ron Paul. I don't think that the gala is out of my tax bracket, so I'll probably be leaving before that starts.
Sure.
And I don't have a tuxedo.
The gala, where you pay an exorbitant amount of money for a decent meal and to have people heckle you for more money. Fun times, libertarians. But yeah, I am disappointed I'm not going to be there. Maybe I'll rant about that more later. But we do got to get through some news because before you leave on this excursion, and we end up inevitably talking only about this excursion for the next 2, 3, 4 months, we got to get some news out of the way. Otherwise, we'll be suffering. But before we get into dark news, coming out of Dark Toad into dark news, I want to start off with something positive. But before we do that, I got to remind you guys about you guys. And this list, I know, it's not up to date. Trashman, Abrogate Authoritarians. I know there's the one dude who just joined at the dollar level, and his name's not on here yet. I'm sorry, it's $1. You spent 25 cents so far toward this cause. If you want to get your name on this list and have me care enough to read it incorrectly with haste, pledge at the level anywhere above $1, and you can have your name on that and have it read incorrectly someday, maybe, at patreon.com/The System Is Down. You might also have me heckle you, even though your name's not on there. But you'll know when you see a new name pop up next week. You'll know who it was, who signed up at the $1 level, and somebody else asked why they weren't on the list. I don't remember what their name is. Patreon.com/The System Is Down. Support the show, get the bonus content, get the after parties, including but not limited to today's after party, where the plan is, if we get that far, to talk about slavery and cannibalism. So that's a fun combo. More weird, more raw, more offensive, more content whenever we can at the Downers Club. All right. Now, starting off on some positive news, we're going to just cleanse our palate of Toad and cleanse our palate of the things to come and start out on a high note. And it is. I usually say that and it's sarcastic. Here's just a nice timeline cleanse of a service dog meeting his hero. Warms your heart. Dave's waiting for the punchline. It feels like this is a trap.
Like, you're supposed to do this after the show, after I feel sick to my stomach.
Maybe we'll come back to it before we get to Steve. Any thoughts so far, Dave?
Adorable.
Just freaking adorable.
Belly rubs for everybody.
He's got his little Pluto in his mouth. He loves it, and he's getting pet by Pluto. It's just adorable. Adorable little timeline cleanse.
Papa?
You feeling warm and fuzzy, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. Germany downgrades illegality of child porn from felony to misdemeanor, according to the Publica.com. So no more felonies for child corn, or however we're supposed to say it on the internet to make it more palatable that we're reaching the bottom of the slope. The German parliament has voted to downgrade the illegality of the possession of child from a felony to a misdemeanor, much to the delight of pro-pedophilia organizations in the country. Dave, I mean, this one kind of speaks for itself. You got any thoughts?
Well, if history is any indicator, the German people are about to have enough, and some figure who definitely had enough is about to rise up and rally people in Germany against this kind of bullshit. And
what kind of facial hair does that certain figure have to have, Dave? You're being real subtle.
Well, the revolutions happen that way. Goes up, goes down, and then, you come back up, and you can go back down.
Yep.
I don't know. Stop fucking kids. If you don't want brutal dictators to come in and, institute executions and stuff. I don't know.
It's the evil. It's the authority that's making it legal. So,
yeah, we shouldn't talk shit, man. Look what we're doing. We're chemically castrating kids in Delaware, and
we should talk shit, Dave. We should talk shit against Germany for downgrading to child porn.
Right. NAMBLA's not that.
Yeah,
bad.
who am I to speak ill of the Germans and their life choices when we're castrating kids? Two things can be true at once, Dave.
They're gonna a new tourism industry, I predict, is gonna pop up in Germany.
Ooh. I mean, it's not like it's legal. It's taken down to a misdemeanor, so it's still illegal, but now it's just less of a risk.
It's the worst thing.
What?
It's the worst thing. Oh, we've taken it down from felony to misdemeanor. No, that's what you do with pot smoking.
Right.
Retards.
Yeah.
That's
or lower if you're a libertarian, but yeah.
Sure.
Anyway,
no, I hate it.
We're just gonna go on a roller coaster of emotion today. Another one before we get into the politics of it all. Post Malone. Are you familiar with Post Malone, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does rap-ish, R&B-ish, like pop stuff with some rock influence, and I think as far as like pop stars in the mainstream media go today, he's up there as some of the few that I respect the most. But he posted this image of him with an American flag, looking like a redneck in his dirty Wranglers and his cowboy boots and his painted fingernails, as cowboys do. Now this I just felt like this was worth pointing out. Do you want to read this gentleman's words, Dave?
Yeah, sure. Oh man, you're gonna. All right. Another nigga that used hip hop and rap on some culture vulture shit. Looking at this photo just tells me that that you used us as a stepping stone to get where you wanted, and once you made it there, you broke out the Budweiser, the dusty cowboy boots, the Wrangler jeans, the pickup trucks, and the American flags, and did away with anything that may have people mistake you for a part of the hip hop culture. Never liked this nigga, and I can't stand these niggas. That was fun. I'll do that anytime, bro.
Very white dude, Post Malone. Called the N-word at least 3 times.
That's what you do.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know if he's changed his style or anything, but he's had rock influences and some country influences and all sorts of influences in his music. But the thing that perplexed me the most about this is like, we're mad about reverse cultural appropriation right now. Like, that's where we've gotten to. They were probably mad at him before because he was stealing their music. Now they're mad that he's not stealing their music. Like, you were a hip hop guy, you very white, tatted up dude, you stole our culture. But now that you're not stealing our culture, we're still mad. It's
and you know, I don't know too many of this guy's songs, or I've seen some interviews. He just seems cool to me. But before you put that tweet up, I was going to comment on how I was always impressed with the way that he can bend genres and just do what he wants. Like, not a lot of people can get away with that. You can't just bust out he did that song for the Spider-Man movie. It was great. Total pop, pop goodness. And then, he comes out with some country shit. And I saw him do, I think, Stone Temple Pilots live. I think he covered some of the, it was great. Yeah. So, this doesn't bother me, but I don't care about culture vulture shit.
Same. Moving on. Rapid pace today. Paper straws contain toxic forever chemicals. Could be worse than plastic, studies say. Who knew? Now, I only bring this up to transition into the next article, because I'm pretty sure this has something to do with why Klaus Schwab, supervillain of the actual world, is stepping down as the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. I might be like too conspiratorial, but I think realizing that the whole climate change paper straws disaster has not panned out is probably why he stepped down. What do you think, Dave?
No, I disagree. I'm on the David Icke tip with this kind of stuff. Like, I've seen people on Twitter kind of celebrating, like, oh, the Rothschild died. Oh, this guy's stepping down. Oh, Mitch McConnell is, going. It's like they have an endless supply of regime puppets to do all the stuff. So no, I think that I think he already has his number 2 guy, Yuval Noah Harari, that guy who hates Bitcoin and hates humans.
Yeah.
So
he's not subtle about it.
No, that this plan will go on. What kind of like world corporatist satanic takeover would it be if it was at the whim of this old fart?
It's true, but it's going to be sad. I mean, it's sad that we're losing our actual caricature of a supervillain that plays a supervillain in real life. It's sad that we're losing him. If you're familiar with the robe and like just looking like a Star Wars nemesis, it's sad that we're losing him. But if you've seen Yuval Noah Harari, he looks like the clear choice of replacement for a supervillain in a Star Wars movie when the Emperor dies. Like, he's got the shaved head and the nerd glasses and just a lizard-like way about him.
100% agree, bro.
Yeah.
I totally agree. He's not as arch nemesis like as this guy, but he'll definitely do. And he seemed, he's sharp and probably equally as evil. So let's keep an eye on that guy.
Do you know anything about Tony Blair, Dave?
I know he's got a special relationship with George Bush.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think they used to ram broomsticks up each other's butts and, talk about how cool the Iraq War was. I don't know. I just heard.
Bohemian Grove?
Oh, yeah. All kinds of dude getaways.
Yeah. I don't know that much about Tony Blair. Kate Paris, the lovely and wonderful fake super chat, says Tony Blair, because Tony Blair's name has been mentioned as a successor to the throne of the World Economic Forum after Klaus Schwab, but I don't know.
He's a demon. He'd make a good one.
I looked into it a little bit, couldn't find a lot on it, so it might just be a rumor, but he seems to be up there in the demon category, so He'll fit
And
right
he's
in.
definitely he's deep in the like the green global initiative stuff. So that probably makes sense.
Now, as was already mentioned at one point, an update on the Libertarian Party convention Circus. The great Ron Paul will be the keynote speaker on Sunday. Dave, I'm sure you have a thought or two on this as somebody who is blessed
Going to be
enough
there?
to be able to go. Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh man, yeah, this is great. Again, got my media pass, got my mic, and I'm looking forward to attempting to speak to Ron Paul for the third time in my life. And every one of those times will be in DC, by the way, which is weird. But so lucky, man. And you know what? While we're on it, this is like historic shit, man. We take it for granted, like, oh yeah, Ron Paul, Libertarian, you know, we've seen him a couple times or whatever. The Libertarian Party has never invited Ron Paul to convention. He's never come and given a speech. The Mises Caucus did it in 2022, but the goal, Mike Heiss tweeted this the other day, his goal was to make the Libertarian Party a home for the Ron Paul revolution and bring, you know, a place for his legacy forever.
Yeah, it's not only that he hasn't been invited, he's been like uninvited in the past, right? By the former regime. He was invited and then they're like, no, we just realized that you're Ron Paul. We weren't familiar with your history or anything, so we changed our minds. There's been some controversy even behind him being there. So there was controversy when he came last time, and then of course all the losers who were anti-Mises Caucus showed up to watch Ron Paul because of course you do, even if you pretend like you don't want him there. You're going to watch him when he's there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I've always said this and I'll say it again. Like, you don't have to be like obsessed like I am with Ron Paul. But if you hate Ron Paul or like you want to shit on, like you're the problem. I don't debate those people. I don't want to be friends with them. We don't have enough in common. And I think your character sucks. Again, doesn't have to be your dude. You don't have to have posters on your wall and shit, but be cool though.
Yeah.
Hey, put some respect on his name.
Amen. Now, before it was announced that Ron Paul was going to be speaking, which came out like yesterday, I think, but I posted this. I nominate Ron Paul to debate against Trump and Kennedy at the LP convention. Who is with me? # one more run, Ron, and then Ron Paul 2024. Like, this was my thought, but I also have mixed feelings on it because as much as I want to see Ron Paul debate just anybody at this point and how it would be between him and Trump and Biden, I also know that Trump would be mean to him, and I just don't want to see, like, in his old age, Ron Paul get shat on by Donald Trump. What do you think, Dave?
Interesting. I've seen clips of Trump not being mean to Ron Paul, but we're going back to like 2012 when people were just asking Trump his opinion. You know, he's on The Apprentice. Oh, Ron Paul's running. What do you think about him? And he'd say stuff like, okay, look, Ron Paul's not winning anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I think that Trump is probably savvy enough to know that that guy is royalty to us. You know, if he doesn't know it, somebody next to him from Cambridge Analytica is going to go, hey, man, when you're in there, don't fucking shit on Ron Paul. That will get you booed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he has enough people around him that will do that. So I bet you
if Ron Paul was to debate Joe Biden and Donald Trump, the one place that I would want him to do it is at the Libertarian convention, where everybody's going to boo the fuck out of Trump when he attacks Ron Paul. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be fun, and it would be a great, like, just punctuation on the end of his, not that he's done in his career or anything, but he's getting up there in age, and it would be just a fun way to be like, I'm still here, motherfuckers. But, you know, we do what we do.
I think he's coming in for the day, going home, just like an 89-year-old man should do.
Amen.
But if he did it,
take note,
I would
Joe
be
Biden.
on board. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of old men, your boy Michael Rechtenwald was on Timcast the other day, saying some stuff, being a little awkward. At one point, I didn't find the clip fast enough, but I did hear it. I know I heard it. I can find it if you want to fact check me. But at one point, something was said about ending the Fed, and Rex said, end of the Fed is a, what did he say? What did he call it? a virtue signal for libertarians.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was going to say slogan, and just kind of empty. It was like, maybe he's saying it's like empty words or empty, like doesn't mean much. Virtue signal. I wouldn't agree with that. It's a good thing to say. It's kind of empty at this point, like 15 years later. Like we should keep saying it, but it's like,
is it empty, Dave?
What?
It's breaking. 22 members of Congress have sponsored
Yeah,
Rep. Thomas Massey's End the Fed bill. Like, seems
I know.
It's a real bad timing to say that it's First
of all, he shared this from Massey's page. I shared this from Massey's page. This is all good, but even Thomas Massey would tell you right now, I'm doing this. This kind of is not a virtue signal, but it is a signal.
Sure.
He knows for a fact that this is not going to get passed, but it's at least in the conversation. So if that's what Rec was trying to say, cool. I mean, we should keep doing that. Every year there should be an audit the Fed bill that won't pass every year, but keep doing it. It's great.
Absolutely.
Make noise.
Now, we do have a new video that just came out yesterday for the Mises Caucus. If I can find it here, we'll go ahead and run that and get into some deeper of the politics and other candidates, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. I'm stalling while I look for this video. Where did I put it? It's not there. It's supposed to be at the top. Please hold.
Beep, bop, boop.
And so the Mises Caucus hired me to make this video to hype everybody back up for the convention. That's all I'll say, and then we'll talk about it a little bit after.
The state is a parasite. It is robbing people. It is destroying lives. We cannot allow this. We must stop it. That's the message we need to get out. It isn't enough to be nice guys. I'm sorry.
That is the market. If you tell the truth, and if the audience senses it, they will ride with you to the end of the earth.
There is this parasitic force in Washington, D.C. that's grown bigger and bigger and more powerful.
I absolutely agree with that.
The Libertarian Party Mises Caucus, they are doing incredible work.
Your support has made Defend the Guard Act the most important non-interventionist legislation in the entire 21st century. That credit belongs almost singularly to the activists in the Mises Caucus.
Government is simply the biggest corporation with a monopoly on violence.
We need to be fearless truth tellers and absolutely cut through everything.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Chris Cuomo, if you really want to go on this rehabilitation tour, why not come through me?
I'll fucking throw you down these stairs like a fucking punk.
Dave Smith and Chris Cuomo have agreed to a debate.
They need to be called out and shamed, brother.
Not the politics of it. It's not necessarily even the ideas. That's secondary to the culture. And how do you guys feel? How do you feel about this community? How do you feel about this energy?
It's not that complicated. Freedom is not a complicated issue. Just have fun talking about it and spreading the message.
How cool's the doctor that figured that one out?
Stop doing evil and terrible things that provoke them.
We did. Well, that's ridiculous. That's where I'm just...
If you care about your fucking content, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian economic school, motherfuckers.
Some of you will be threatened. Some of you will be intimidated. Some of you are going to fold.
Yes, this is Special Agent Christina Chen. I'm going to give you an opportunity to verify my identity.
I got an award from the Mises Caucus for the most visits by a Fed award. But as Angela said, liberty is dangerous.
I will walk into a den of vipers every time if there's a chance that I can convert a single one of them and move the needle in the direction of freedom.
I love dealing with libertarians.
The libertarians, they're great people, and they are based largely on common sense.
We would be so lucky if we convinced a single blood-sucking statist to adopt a single one of our policies.
That convinces me the revolution is alive and well.
What's your message to those people?
By our fruits you'll know us.
Hopefully in a year, 2 or 3, I'll come back and everyone here will say, Maj, you were wrong. Peace.
What say, America? You in?
Come on.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Thank you.
Classic Smotz. Right where I needed it to be.
Thank you.
Plus, you put me in it twice. because we're
Yeah,
friends.
I did.
That's really nice. Too.
That's your pay, bro.
Appreciate that. That's as good as money, sir.
Not quite, but it'll do. Thoughts on the video, Dave? There was a lot packed in there. We got the everything from convention stuff to last convention with Maj to Fed stuff with that you and I talked about in Maryland. What's her name? Karen Ann Harlos. All that stuff. Dave Smith versus Chris Cuomo, hyping that up. Defend the guard. Packed it all into 2.5 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, it was all the stuff, man, and hyper current. The Cuomo Dave Smith stuff. Awesome.
And even the Trump clip of him saying libertarians, they're decent people. That was like from the NRA, whatever Klan rally, like two weeks ago or 2 days ago.
Your clip of that was the first time I had seen it, and then I saw the whole clip today, which was cool.
I still haven't seen the whole clip. I found it like as I was finishing up the video, and I was like, I gotta extend this video. Like I lengthened out the video to make sure that fit in there because
yeah.
How many other presidents have you heard address the libertarians and their common sense?
That's what I was going to make a point to say too. Like in a world where we're around a bunch of people to go, oh, the duopoly is the same, the two parties are the same, and the two presidents are equally as shitty. It's like, I don't know, man. Can Joe Biden even say libertarians are typically good people? Like, remember that scene in Ghostbusters?
Can he physically get it out of his mouth? Like, is he able to say it? I don't know.
All I'm saying is when Bill Murray in Ghostbusters 2 goes, I'm a voter. Aren't you supposed to lie to me and kiss my butt? Right? Like, if that's probably Trump. I don't think he's probably a really big fan of libertarians, great people. But at least he feels like he has to kiss our ass. Yeah, yes. He feels like he has to say that. Yeah. Great people. I want to see Joe Biden or Kamala Harris say, "Oh, libertarians, great people." Yeah, just say that, and I'll put you equal again.
Right. All it takes is them saying it once. Like, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to mean it. But now I'm going to use it and milk the shit out of it. And in every video where you said, we're not terrible. That's very nice of you. Now, we are terrible, and we have a lot of candidates. Dave, did you know that it's not a libertarian candidate, but there's another candidate that has entered the presidential race? Have you heard?
Joe Exotic?
Close, but not quite. It's this fine filly right here, and we're going to see what she has to say.
I just went from 6 to midnight.
I wanted to come on and do a quick speech about violence in our society, specifically America. As a presidential candidate, I want to definitely help reelect President Biden.
As a presidential candidate, first of all, I want to definitely help reelect President Biden. Okay, great.
And Vice President Harris. Going forward, we're all human, regardless of party.
Most of us.
I am a law and order president once I'm inaugurated. But like I said...
Oh my God.
So pro-cop? Is that the Biden? I mean, that's the Biden stance when it's convenient as well. So
law
I guess
and
it
order.
Makes sense. Yep. This lady is going to crack down.
We need to get back to peace, love, acceptance. We're a human race. I'm talking about America right now, all the guns, the kids, the violence, the anger, the prejudice, discrimination toward groups, sexuality, the way we look, where we come from. We're all America in these borders, and we need to live like it and get back to the United States.
Wait, there we go. Threat, Dave? Threat to wreck and Kennedy and Trump, and I mean, obviously not a threat to Biden because her number one priority seems to be love and unity and reelect Joe Biden.
Oh man, this is so sad. That guy looks exactly like fucking Steve Buscemi in Billy Madison.
Hello, fellow women.
Right. We used to make fun of these people, and that was okay because you're crazy. Now, to her credit, I'm trying to find the factual stuff in there that person said. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's okay to want a more tolerant society. I don't know how much more tolerant we could get, though, but you definitely don't want to elevate crazy people to positions of power, and you don't want to affirm people because we've had to have been affirming these psychopaths for so long that they feel confident publicly saying this. Like there should be a certain amount of shame where if you want to dress like that, bro, it's like fine. Like you should not be a victim of a hate crime or something, but you should expect to get weird eyes, and you should expect for kids to point.
I dress like this, weird. And I don't get offended when people have the natural reaction to somebody who looks like this. So that's all I ask from anybody else.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I just thought that was a good way to transition to Biden, because we got a lot of Biden today. Because as time goes on, Biden just keeps getting, I don't know. It's not even necessarily that he's getting worse. It's just more. And also his face keeps changing to different Joe Biden faces. And I don't know the world that we live in, but we're going to watch several of them. And in order to do so, that brings us to Remembering Biden.
And Corn Pop was a bigger big shot. Nazi fags. You ain't black.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
That's right. That's right. It's Remembering Biden, where we remember the things that the zany antics of Joe Biden, because God knows he's not going to remember them himself. Here is a clip, allegedly. Feel free to fact check me, figure out if there's an explanation to this. I'm open to it. I didn't do that much digging. It might just be an internet thing and we misheard or what have you. But I'm pretty sure this is Joe Biden telling the Pope that the Pope is a famous Native or African American baseball player. Correct me if I'm wrong. If my lying eyes deceive me, tell me. But here we go.
Thank you for that. He was a famous African American baseball player in America.
I know.
Americano, Afroamericano.
Not even shocked. We'll file that under not shocked. Crazy, but not shocked.
I mean, what are we supposed to do with that? Our president, I'm pretty sure, just called the very white Pope a famous Native or African. Why do I keep saying Native? Famous African American baseball player.
So wrong on so many accounts, and not African American, not a baseball player. You're famous, but you can't name him. Like.
He's the only guy that looks like that. He's the only Pope. There's a lot of famous African-American baseball players. There's not a lot of popes. They're pretty limited. If you run into the Pope, you're probably going to recognize him.
Famous African-American baseball player, like more famous than the Pope? Famous? Or?
I don't know.
That's really bizarre, bro.
Kate Perry says he's clearly Jackie Robinson. Do you think it's possible that there was a conversation before this? Do you think that there's some context that could make this clip make sense?
No, not yet.
Do you think it's more possible that Joe Biden mistook the Pope for the late Jackie Robinson?
You ain't black. Oh, wait a second. You are black. How about that? Famous and black.
That's a fun one. Now, I just want to throw back to one that I don't think that anybody, including us, we spent a little bit of time on it, but I feel like it warrants rebirthing this clip just to keep in mind that this happened. It was shared by the Democrat Twitter page, and they're claiming that it is just a message from the president, Joe Biden. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't.
Now, the main thing that stands out to me is that this one, while he does look like a literal zombie and a different person than the one that we saw, the Joe Biden that we saw last week, challenging Donald Trump to a debate with 5 cuts in 15 seconds, while it doesn't look like the same guy and he doesn't look better, one cut. Just one cut. So whatever drug they gave him to have this reaction, to get this video out of him, one cut. Do you think it was the editor that drugged him so heavily on this one? Like, we can get another sentence out of him at least. It'll save me a half hour. I guess that's how long it takes. It'll save me a half hour, but he's going to look like this. You know, you take the good, you take the bad.
Yeah, maybe. This one's a little bit older, right?
Yeah, this one's several months old, but
okay.
We're supposed to believe that this is the same guy.
Same human, right. And never blinked. I don't think he blinks in this one. 5 cuts in the other one, 13 seconds, not one blink in this whole.
They just can't get an entire human take out of our president, which, I don't know, it's cause for concern to some, not me. I think he's, much like Luke Skywalker said, the greatest president of all time, and there's nothing to be concerned of. But we have some more. We'll get to them. Which one's this? I think this is where he, from the stage, said that if you marry a woman, make sure she has a bunch of sisters in case your woman dies, and then you can bang the sister, which leaves people questioning where Hunter Biden learned some of his, widowing exploitations. But
I say to every young man thinking of getting married, marrying a family with 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always be on your side.
I guess she doesn't have to die.
Advantage of marrying into 5 daughters.
So I was wrong. She doesn't have to be a widow, just a sister, and then it still counts. It's fine because one of them will always love you.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, this is, again, we'll file it under kind of crazy, but not shocking. These are one of the sickest families in American history. Lots of proof of it, readily available.
I feel like we take for granted how shocking everything should be and how desensitized to this we are. This is the president of the United States who can't say a sentence. He can't say a coherent sentence unless it's perverted. Like, there's just garbage, and then sometimes he's like, word salad, I like kids. I like when they rub my hairy legs in the pool, and I like taking showers with my daughter. Normal stuff. Like, can you imagine being the PR team for this guy, where it's like, especially after putting out the video of him debating Donald Trump, even given all of the criteria and all the demands and mics must be cut and can't talk over me, whatever, can't be any audience there. Even with all that, the PR team for Joe Biden has got to be like setting the revolver on the table and spinning it. Like, what are we doing now? Are we doing this? Are we going out there and trying to explain this? Or do we just call it a day and release some information on Hillary Clinton?
I think they know that the jig is up in November. I'm sure the staff knows that. They're making proper precautions. And Joe Biden will get thrown out. He's like the trash. Just in time, too, because he's like ready to expire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will exploit.
I think he's turned. The milk has gone sour.
Right.
He's not ready to expire. He's gone.
They're gonna try and coast in on fumes. Try and just make it to November.
Yep. I mean, here's I think some sort of graduation, and look at
call for an immediate and
this is
permanent
your president.
ceasefire in the Gaza Strip.
Turned off.
He's there.
Trying to smile, can't even do it.
Like, your brain is shut down, sir.
Bro, what's up with it's like permanent frown and the eyes permanent closed. Right, try to smile. It's so weird. Please.
Yeah.
Like, this is the
But
only...
it's a different face. It's a completely different face than the last 2 videos.
The eyes are crazy, man. It has to be narcotics, AI, or cologne. I don't know. Which one is it, dude?
I mean, I've heard the conspiracy folk say, like, body double, but it's like, which one's the real one? Because they all suck. Like, they're all decrepit old men. I guess you can't replace an old man with a body double and have it not be an old, brain dead human. But yeah, so they got a body double who's just as like mentally deficient as Joe Biden every time, but the face is always different.
Right. The wide-eyed Biden looked like AI to me, and his head, if you noticed, it was like kind of bouncing around like one of those balls.
The background kind of stays with the head.
It's
weird.
weird.
Very odd.
So that one looks like AI to me, which it could be a body double. You get the guy to come in with the suit, do a couple mannerisms, and then you just throw that face on top. In fact, look at that neck. It looks pretty smooth, unlike his neck usually.
You notice how as he moves, like the camera moves with him? Right. I mean, I do have a little robot camera that does that, but I doubt that's what they were using for this. It just feels, I don't know, like all they've got is deep fake Biden, and this is still the best they can do. Like, even the AI is like, I can't make this guy seem like a person. I can't do it.
AI Biden, if we'll call him that, at least this guy. Oh my God, this is probably real Biden. But AI Biden is the best Biden, I think. He spoke firmly, clearly.
I'm firm and clear, and I assure you, very human. Yes,
very human. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we get an AI president, anyway. So
that's true.
Okay.
Well, this one's not AI unless there was a malfunction. You go ahead and decipher this for me from our president on bills.
After I signed the PAC Act into law, I handed the pen that I signed it with the tradition of the most responsible for the legislation. After I signed the PAC Act into law, I handed the pen that I signed it with the tradition of the most responsible
One more
for
time.
the legislation.
Wow.
After I signed the PAC Act into law, I handed the pen that I signed it with the tradition of the most responsible.
For those that aren't following, the captions say, after I signed the PAC and Latin and Alac Act into...
And the PAC Act into law.
And I handed the pen.
I handed the pen that I signed.
That I signed it. Chuna.
With the tradition of the most responsible for the legislation.
We're doing
People
great,
just
you
sit
guys.
there. People just sit there. Nobody moves.
Man.
Nobody says what?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you've
Say that
seen
again?
the ones where he'll say something, and it'll be clear that there's a period at the end of it, but you don't know what he said, and then the crowd is like, yes, there was a period there. That's where we're supposed to clap.
Yeah, they're ready to go. Long pause.
Yep.
Remember that one? That was great.
Long pause. Space. Read the last name. You know, the thing.
With the guy with the thing.
All right. Well, that was fun. That was remembering Biden, and we're not going to
Very
forget. And I'm sure he'll pop up again in the very near future. We're going to get into some more things like the next big pandemic that's coming to town. You know they're not done. We'll get into that and, Trump, alleged Trump assassinations and such other things momentarily. But before we do, here is a word from our very lovely, very offensive sponsor, Lone Star Injury Attorney. Have you or a loved one been injured by some fucknuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus Libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered. We're back, I think. Sorry, I was posting things on Twitter. Somebody said in response to the Mises Caucus video, you truly don't fucking miss. That was from Pope No Catholic, to which I said, thanks, watch my show. So Pope No Catholic, if you come and watch the show right now, we will give you a shout out because you're doing this in real time. I posted a link, so we'll see if the actual Pope shows up. I think he has a slice of pizza as his...
Get your black ass in here, Pope.
That's right. Your black baseball ass. All right. Now, you remember that last pandemic we had, Dave? Like
Vaguely.
Coronavid, something like that?
I'm only still just slightly angry about that.
Yeah. It kind of ruffles my feathers from time to time, but it's no big. I mean, I'm voting for Jacob Hornberger, so why would I be too offended? But from Breitbart.com, so you know it's legit. It's here. It's here. FDA warns 25% kill rate in new virus. Any ideas? Any guesses, Dave? What the new virus
Swine
is?
flu? Bird flu. Bird flu.
We got... are we placing bets?
No.
Are we going swine
definitely
flu over bird flu? Bird flu, swine flu?
Bird.
Bringing back the classics. It's the bird flu. Once more, the FDA says it's preparing for a bird flu pandemic in people that could kill 1 in 4 Americans. Nothing to see here. Pretty normal stuff. Now, we've seen this before, and we've actually seen them try and revive the bird flu a couple of times, inside and outside of COVID. It keeps coming back, but they're very serious about it now, and they are because the U.S. and China collaborated on making bird flu strains more infectious back in February 16th of 2024, according to thedailymail.co.uk, so it's legit. As you do, start, working on bird flu strains with China, and then act surprised when a bird flu pandemic starts to break out. Any thoughts, Dave?
Well, my first thought is, fool me once, shame on. Fool me twice. It's hard to get fooled again. You
won't fool me again.
But I won't. I always in the back of my head, I'm like thinking, okay, well, they know who didn't take the vax, right? So if they wanted to off 25% of the population, like maybe have some strain of something that only affects people that don't have mRNA spike proteins coursing through their veins.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting thing. Like, what if that's a great conspiracy theory. What if the only way to survive the coming, pandemics was to have the shot?
Yeah.
So you better get it, which will, I don't know.
Of course.
I don't feel good about it, but I'm not going to go get a shot to protect myself.
Are you sure? Because according to NPR.org, launching an effective bird flu vaccine quickly could be tough, scientists warn, so we might not have anything to worry about. But from NBC.com, 2 possible bird flu vaccines could be available within weeks if needed. Donald Trump is at it again with his warp speed, bird flu warp speed. So it's not happening, but also it is happening. And the vaccine's going to be tough, but also it's almost done. That's where we're at.
We should probably start testing this on kids immediately. So get your kids ready. Volunteer them.
Yeah.
You don't really need to ask them. Just volunteer them.
Yeah. Just line them up.
Yeah.
You got to test it somehow.
While we're on, the vax stuff right now, I retweeted one of my favorite from the Libertarian in Chief, Todd Hagopian, from a couple years ago, which was unpopular opinion. It's about damn time we start testing this vaccine on kids, he said in 2021. And I made fun of him. I retweeted that and called him an R word. But our friend Jeremy Kaufman said he retweeted me. I don't think he liked it. He said, how do you develop a vaccine for kids without eventually testing it on kids? I don't even understand what the argument against testing vaccines on kids would be. To which I said to him, bro, you're really bright. There's no reason that I have to come in and tell you.
Doesn't see any possible issue with testing vaccines on kids. That's just
God.
Absolutely illogical.
This brings me no joy to have to spank Jeremy Kaufman. That sucks. You should be smarter than that. Come on, man. But it's just, unbelievable. Like I told him, I'm like, bro, you and Todd have yet to give me one reason why we should risk children to fight the seasonal flu. Oh, well, wouldn't this be great if we could eradicate these diseases? I'm like, bro, people are supposed to get sick. That's supposed to happen. And 4 out of 5 of the people who called it one from COVID-19 were over the age of 80 with 4 comorbidities. So let me just say again for the record, there's 0 reasons to forfeit your child to Moloch so that the rest of society could have, to be sick for 5 days instead of 7. Neat. Right. Bro, I'm so disappointed in that. So I hope that he's a stats guy. He wants the information. I'm surprised that he hasn't done the research on this, look up the patents for the bioweapon, bro. Get back to me.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, and I'm sure this is totally unrelated, but a medical officer revealed that COVID vaccine-related heart issues skyrocketing in active-duty naval officers. Myocarditis rises. I'll just let him tell you, actually.
Ischemic heart disease, 69. So in July, Undersecretary Cisneros acknowledged the DMET data, the database working properly, and also acknowledged things such as myocarditis rising 151%. So what I did, I went in today, I'm doing the same thing, 5-year average. However, I'm comparing it to 2022, and I only am using fixed-wing pilots and helicopter pilots, active duty. So we get hypertensive disease, 36%, ischemic heart disease, 69%, pulmonary heart disease, 62%, heart failure, 973%, other forms of heart disease, 63%, cardiomyopathy, 152%. So in July, Undersecretary Assistant.
Probably
The
just
problem is
coincidence.
we didn't do enough testing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
On kids.
Precisely.
As Libertarian Jeremy Kaufman would suggest. I mean, how do you test, Dave? How do you know if it's appropriate for kids until you test on kids?
Well, I mean, I know you already know the answer to this, but the mRNA, people call it the V word, but it's not the V word. It's something different. So let's, for a second, put aside all the autism arguments and HPV for babies and stuff like that. Put that aside and just deal with the bioweapon that was not created for public health, was created to purposefully mutate the coronavirus for germ warfare, for that purpose. 19 years ago, 2005. That's when these were patented or started to be patented. So the answer is, dude, there is you don't test on kids because kids don't need this vaccine 100% of the time. And you can, guys in the audience, fact check me on this, but CBD is a effective treatment, a more effective treatment from transmission and spreading of the COVID-19 virus than any vaccine. So
Says
that
the
alone,
literal CBD salesman.
You don't have to buy it from me,
not a
but get it from
plug.
somebody.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Go to wheeliespharmacy.com and buy my shit. Or call me up and I'll sponsor your podcast. But no, but the studies have been done after COVID, not on just COVID, but the next one was the variant after that, Delta variant, something. They tested on that. Effective.
Delta 8 variant.
Right. So this is the thing that could have stopped the emergency use authorization. Hydrochloroquine could have done that. Ivermectin could have done that. CBD, the hemp plant growing in your backyard, could have done that. But that was what they needed. There could be no other treatment. That's what they needed to get the authorization. So that's why they smeared Joe Rogan and all these other doctors who were prescribing stuff that is known to work and safe. But there is absolutely no reason to test COVID-19 vaccines on kids. There's no reason to do that whatsoever. And I challenge anybody to give me any evidence stating the otherwise.
We should do a debate between you and Jeremy Kaufman.
I would do that. Absolutely. I'm a fan. I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
Even though he's been, a couple times lately, I'm like, but that's okay. I do that with a lot of my friends.
Speaking of people who sometimes you go, and sometimes you go, fuck yeah. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Are you muted?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put this out the other day, this shirt, Vote for Trump Fauci 2024, give us another shot, which, I mean, come on.
Brilliant.
That's just, I'm sad that I didn't think of it first, but for a candidate to put that out against another candidate in his own shop, it's pretty badass.
It's a great slogan and a great message, a true one. Like, really, this is the best argument for RFK.
Yeah.
So I would put it on a shirt too. I would get another shirt designer. You can call up
it's
Smotz.
the best. It's the best argument against Trump for RFK too, because it's the one thing that Trump is like, "Oh, he's not anti-vax enough." It's like, bro, we talked about it last week. Like, bro, you're the guy. You're the Trump Fauci. Give us another shot. Big beautiful vaccine guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what kind of gaslighting you're doing here, but I'm not buying it. And props to Kennedy for dropping this little ditty.
Bro, he's probably going to sell those T-shirts at convention. I can't wait.
Fuck yeah. And no matter, like, Libertarian, Kennedy supporter, or, like, Libertarian, comma, Kennedy supporter, comma, Trump supporter, no matter who you are, if you show up and you're wearing that shirt, like, you're going to get, people in your camp. I think it's brilliant. Do you think that this shirt, I don't know, do you think them both showing up to the convention, I'm sure there are conversations going on behind the scenes of, like, how can we win the Libertarians over more than Donald Trump can? And the same, how can we win the Libertarians over more than RFK can? And this shirt just happens to drop less than a week before the Libertarian convention. Do you think there's any relation there?
Probably. Yeah, probably, dude. I think that, again, all these guys have consultants next to them that know everything about every group of people. You know, I'm sure when Trump came in 2016, they mapped out every single thing that Ron Paul did great. You need to hit these people. You need to go on InfoWars. You need to go on some of these, shows and like blah, blah, blah. And they did that. And that really worked. That was a good strategy. So if I was RFK's guy, I would definitely, this would be my number one strategy. It's just a shame they're all three cucks for Israel.
Right. The lovely Kate Paris said, I need one, Dave. Women's small. So you're going to be there.
Noted.
For all the gut punches that you have given us, her and I both today, she was texting me earlier, like, could Dave just like hate us anymore right now? Just abusing us.
I love you both.
Yeah.
I love you both. Yeah.
You love us both, and also you're just going to keep rubbing it in our face. I respect it, Dave. I respect the hustle. I wish I could hustle. And Lord knows. Okay, let's just take a second to do this. I hustled and tried. So I had a wedding book me before any of y'all libertarian motherfuckers got around to doing anything, because libertarians wait till the last minute for everything. I've mentioned this before on the show. I just want to put a call out to whoever gets the nomination that I'm here. I'm here, and I'm a whore. I'm not a cheap whore, but this is a grift, and so is what you're doing. Every presidential candidate, it's a bit of a grift. Would you like to grift together? Because I've worked on everybody from Vermin Supreme to Joe Jorgensen to Jeremy Kauffman to the Mises Caucus to Angela McArdle and so on and so forth. I'm not a cult member of any kind, and anybody who is willing to utilize my abilities. Oh, Mike Tremont too. Like, I've worked on multiple Joe Jorgensen, Mike Tremont, Michael Rechtenwald, Josh Smith, like kind of the gambit here. If you want my services, I'm just going to put it out there. Whoever's listening right now, if you want whoever the nominee is to utilize my services, go clip this and go tell them that it is entirely up to them. And no matter who you are, I'm on the table for discussion, and I will make you look as good as I possibly can, even if you don't like me, even if you don't like somebody that I've worked with or somebody that I've associated with. I don't fucking care. If you're not going against my personal moral values, which, I mean, as far as libertarianism, I'm pretty lax. I also worked with Libertarians for Kennedy, so I'm a whore. But
that was good.
If you're pushing for liberty, I will help you push for liberty in hopes that there will be at least one ripple that comes out of it that sparks somebody else, even if it is a Chase Oliver or Lars Mapstead. If you use me, I will put my all into it in order to hope, with the hope that just like there's maybe one person that Gary Johnson inspired to jump into this thing and actually start putting work into it. I got in right around the Gary Johnson time, and I'm still here, so you never know what'll come of it. This is all a sales pitch. This is all a grift, and so is your campaign. Hire me, let us grift together. And to all of you, anybody listening, if they don't hire me, just know I was here the whole time, just waiting. And I say that I'm a whore, but not cheap. When it comes to liberty, I'm pretty fucking cheap. So hit me up, let's talk. And we'll
but you know what's flawed about your strategy? You're a whore, but you're waiting on the corner for a John.
I'm not. I just mentioned it.
You should be on Craigslist showing pussy and butthole so that you could.
Is that the libertarian way, Dave?
That's what you need to do. You need to go, I'm here. Look at me.
Is that how Lars got to where he is?
Yeah. Well, shit. You think that ponytail just came out of nowhere, bro? You got to fucking earn that shit. But I'm saying, it's sad. It's sad you weren't booked, but if I were you, when I got a wedding in the middle of May, and if I wanted to go, I would have called Angela and been like, "Yo, if you don't have your convention spot booked yet, you better book me now." I would have said that. I would have been the squeaky wheel.
Do you think I haven't talked to Angela? Do you think I haven't asked? Do you think that I haven't talked to like 5 to 10 people who are like, "You're not going to be there. Let's see if we can find a way." And I'm like,
"No.
Okay,
beforehand,
we'll find a way."
When you got a potential wedding in the middle of May, I would have been like, "Let me make sure that there isn't." Fucking,
you realize that weddings book like a year in advance, and at the time we had like Jacob Hornberger probably versus
that's
like
the thing.
nobody. Like,
that's the thing. 2 months ago, I was not really looking forward to the
Right.
national convention, so that makes sense.
shit escalated quickly, real
Yeah,
quickly,
that shit-
and I'm really regretting it.
Yep.
Speaking of
sorry.
shit escalating quickly, you know how I asked how much the nominees or the candidates would pay for my endorsement last week? Well, things are
$5? Did it heat up?
Well, things are heating up a little bit because I got this text from Donald Trump that says, from Donald Trump, Daniel, will you please endorse me for the debate? Crooked Joe is going down. Endorse Trump at this short link. Stop to end. To which I said, how much will you pay me? So I'm getting offers. People are sniffing around. Like they heard that I was selling my endorsement and he's asking for it. You know?
It's going to be big. Really big.
What amount of
Huge
money
investment.
do you think it would take for me to endorse Donald Trump? Or what amount of money should it take for me to endorse Donald Trump?
Oh, man.
Because everybody has a buying price.
Yeah, mine would be extremely low because my vote doesn't really mean much to me.
Yeah.
There's other things that are much more important. So I would be, like you, a whore. Very cheap.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars. Not even.
Well, here's the thing. I pitched it to all the Libertarian candidates, and so far we're at $5. So if Donald Trump can pitch me like $5.50,
right.
What is my endorsement worth to me? I don't know. I would probably make a video saying I endorse Donald Trump because he paid me $5.50, and just let that speak for itself.
Just do it. That should be the thing. Instead of texting people, just send them $5.
Yes. Speaking of Trump, did you know that wearing a MAGA hat now is the equivalent of wearing a swastika? And if you're going to wear a MAGA hat, according to Joy Behar, you should just go ahead and wear a swastika hat. Because
And by the way,
why not?
That hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Let's not do that.
Nobody thought that was cool or funny because they're not fucking crazy like that cunt. Ugh.
Do you know how bad your take has to be for Whoopi Goldberg to give you the look? Like, queen of bad takes, and she's like, Joy, let's not tell all Donald Trump supporters to wear swastika hats on our show. That doesn't bode well for anybody.
Same thing. 70 million voters, 80 million voters. They're just 80 million Nazis just waiting. Just waiting. Your neighbor flying the American flag, Nazi.
Yeah. Now,
that whole program is a deep state program, though.
Sure.
They're all fucked.
I mean, most of them are. And I hate when people make me support Donald Trump in any way. You know that I hate it. But here we are, and not just Joy Behar, but I don't know. You heard about this whole Joe Biden's when they raided Mar-a-Lago. Joe Biden authorized use of lethal force to get the documents back. Did you hear about this, Dave?
No, I mean I know that the feds showed up, but I don't know. I think you have way more information on this than I do.
This is new, and it's been going around. Donald Trump even responded to it, but this is from Julie Kelly. Tons of new unsealed filings on. Now, I found this article, I found this thread in a haste, and I thought it was as good as pretty much any article that anybody else would put out. So feel free to fact check and make sure this is accurate if you want to. But Julie Kelly says, tons of new unsealed filings on classified docs case. I will try to post as much, blah, blah, blah. FBI authorized the use of deadly force at Mar-a-Lago. So this is in the documents. It says, law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force when necessary. The next one says, FBI, MM, and OCS will be prepared to engage in POTUS? I'm not sure what that means, but in the use of deadly force, it sounds pretty clear. POTUS and USSS security team. Should USSS provide resistance of or interfere with FBI timeline or access FBI, whatever, will engage with redacted and redacted. Will engage with USSS POCs per existing. So the main point being that authorized to use deadly force on these documents that whether or not you think Donald Trump was right to take them, Joe Biden did the same thing. And classified documents, what classified documents do you think would warrant sitting President Joe Biden authorizing taking out former President Donald Trump for taking records that in a very similar way to how Joe Biden did?
Man, I wouldn't even begin to speculate. I mean, it could be anything.
Is there anything that could warrant that from a former president who is the current running opponent to the sitting president? Like, is there anything that Trump could have?
All these pleasantries are out the window, though. So we know that this is like an escalation, from the rigging of the votes to the lawfare stuff that's coming, and it does seem like it's escalating. Like they're willing to try to do anything they can to get rid of Trump. So that would be a great smokescreen.
But this isn't even current. This is back when the Mar-a-Lago thing happened. Not Biden, but not really Biden. Biden's handlers said, if you have to, just go ahead and just rough them up a little bit. Take them out. Yeah. Do whatever you got to do to get these documents back. And then what came out of the documents? Fucking nothing. So looking back on it and seeing how much of a nothing burger it was, and also they were like, yeah, you might have to, do that. It's like, was there?
Yeah, so I don't think
that
they
were.
On
here?
Yeah. I'll say that. I don't think that they were, oh man, there's something in there that's a national security threat, so we have to do this. This is all a game. So no, that makes sense. All right. I thought this was a new time. They went to Mar-a-Lago, brought the feds, and did this. Okay, but this is report came out from that.
Yeah, this is documents that came out saying that Joe Biden authorized the use of deadly force for these documents.
Yep. Not shocked.
I mean, I don't know. Tim Pool getting raided by SWAT team, getting swatted and all that. People calling in. That's happened to him 13 times, or people call in and he gets swatted. I think that, from a libertarian perspective, even that, I think should be held, or that should be considered kind of attempted murder. If you're sending a SWAT team into somebody's home and you're saying there's a bomb threat or there's a some sort of emergency or something, and you're saying go in because you have to with armed guards, whatever, that's very high risk of somebody getting killed. So I think that should be considered attempted murder. I think this is worse because this is saying, hey, if you need to, wink, wink. And then Donald Trump is currently he's on all these trials and everything. And one of his main things against him is that he said, find me some votes. Find me some votes. And that means that he rigged the election. But Joe Biden saying, if you need to kill him, kill him. That's fine.
Authorized. You're authorized to do it. And yeah, imagine the kind of again, it sounds like a good smokescreen. Oh, we had to do this. National security and everything. All these files and blah, blah, blah. Corrupt dictator president. We had to do it. Yeah. So I authorized this. And of course, we want our men and women, in the FBI to be safe. So they have to be able to, use deadly force if possible. This is all very safe.
Yeah.
For Team Biden to go in and do it like that. And if God forbid an accident happened, you'd have a story ready to go. And nobody was in there except those feds.
Yeah.
You never get the true story. People still believe that they got bin Laden and dumped him over a boat.
Yeah.
People still believe that. That's fun, you know what I mean? If they'll go with that, yeah, America, then they will believe this too.
Not to mention, if you look back at the story, the Fed showed up at one point and said, if you're going to have these documents here, you have to have them locked in a safe. And they gave them the lock for the safe to make sure that it was secure, and they locked them in the safe. And then the Feds came back and said, you have documents. We have reason to believe that you have documents locked in a safe. And then they cut their own lock off Donald Trump's safe so that they could get the documents that they knew that he had, and they were authorized to kill him. What did they think was going to happen? What justification do you have? What do you think Donald Trump's going to open fire on the people that said, hey, lock these in the safe? And he said, okay. And then we need those files. Okay, open fire. There's zero way to justify this. If somebody can come up with it, please email me, Dan at Dan at tsidpod.com. I would love to hear an explanation for why that kind of cooperation level warrants killing somebody who just happens to be your opponent in a current presidential race.
And again, just to go the big picture for a second, dude, always, how many times have we said, oh, why do you make me defend Trump? I hate when you make me defend Trump. I feel like I don't want to defend Trump, but I have to. It's like, doesn't it feel like at a certain point that that's the game? Like that everybody should be on board with this guy because he's such, being persecuted from the other side. Like that's what it feels like. There's enough reasons to be sympathetic for that guy. Mm-hmm. And if they're true, that is, you know what I mean? If you're really an enemy of the state, then why shouldn't we support that guy? Like that, it's just weird that feels like that's the way we're getting funneled.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Trump did have a response to Biden, to this news coming out of Biden or whoever's controlling Biden, putting this, some might say, fatwa out for Donald Trump's head. But Donald Trump on Truth said, wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ and their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment.
Now, this would actually be an appropriate time to use the 25th Amendment. That's interesting and true. And yeah, that's funny. Why haven't the Republicans tried that? Maybe that should have been something they thought of. And he used the word for our democracy. Oof.
They can try to kill our guy and all. They can try to arrest our guy and all. They can try to do everything that they could possibly come up with to our guy. That's fine. We don't want to be like the Democrats. We don't want to impeach just on a whim. That's stupid in political theater. But Joe Biden, he's withholding from Israel to bomb the brown kids in Gaza? That is just over the line. And now we have to impeach him. For more on that, see last week's episode. But go ahead, Dave. What were you saying?
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah, I'm good.
Now, moving on, and also back, we got to go back to Klaus Schwab a little bit because I don't know. There's not a lot on this story, so I don't know how legit it is. Look into it. Find out for yourself. Do your own research, dare I say. This is from thepeoplesvoice.tv, so you know it's legit. Says, deleted WEF memo reveals Trump is on a hit list of leaders to be assassinated. Again, I don't know how legit this is, but we're going to read. A deleted and leaked World Economic Forum memo reveals Donald J. Trump is on the hit list of leaders to be assassinated if he continues proving impossible to control. The plan to defeat Trump using lawfare is failing spectacularly, with the former president riding high in the polls while Biden flounders. Desperate to avoid a repeat of Trump's first 4-year term, the global elite are now initiating Plan B, also known as the plot to remove President Donald Trump from the November election by any means necessary. And this is a fairly short article where they chose to use the same image 3 times, so I don't know if that speaks to its legitimacy or not, but allegedly, there was a list of people that needed to be eradicated, quote unquote. Which
this is more Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison list of people to kill. It doesn't say, I don't think that's how they do business.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem legit to me.
I doubt it. It's probably not legit, but it's a fun throw-in, and just know people be talking, and it kind of, I mean, whether you trust this source or not, or whether you trust any of these sources or not, it's like there's this narrative that was built up about Trump being this evil person. And then it's like, evil, Joy Behar, or to the point of Joy Behar, MAGA is literally swastika, Hitler, like go ahead, wear the swastika hat. It feels like a setup. Like everything feels like a setup. This feels like QAnon 2.0, where it's like, I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy who's got the WEF going after him. He's the guy that all the main leaders are against. Like I bought that for a second last time. Didn't vote for him, but dabbled a little bit in the Q stuff because it was compelling. Stuff like this is compelling, but it feels like we're doing it again. Like Donald Trump is the savior, and you know he's the savior because so many people want to attack or whatever, assassinate. And the only reason that I think it's Q is because I'm starting to buy it. Like, I start to lean into it. I'm like, oh man, if Joe Biden was going to go that hard and the WEF's going to go that hard, then man, he wait.
Must be the guy.
Wait. Hold on. This is the QAnon guy. This is the guy that we were tricked into thinking would be the savior before, and then, better than Biden, sure, but as far as things that matter go, very little changed. What do you think, Dave?
Honestly, man, I'm still on the tip. Like, and I agree with you. The pull towards Trump, like the sugar rush, or as we call it, the red meat that he gives you, is great, and it feels good. But they're like empty calories, right? Biden, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know, man. I tend to just still believe the old KRS-One thing, that the president is the manager of the corporation. They have certain phases that they go through, like the George Bush phase. Like, the plan was there. Who's the guy to enact the plan, right?
Yeah.
So we, in this 8 years, we want to go into these countries, and this is the perfect guy for that job, so he's who we'll install. And then the country will have some kind of, like natural pendulum swing, so we'll have to offer something else up, and we will provide that.
Yeah.
But isn't it like, I don't know. I don't think that world events happen, like by accident. I feel like the Ukraine-Russia stuff was on the table, that's on the memo, right? We want to do this, and we need to do it in this amount of time. And Joe Biden is the guy for that job.
Yeah.
That's like more why so we're going to get this guy out. You go for 4 years, and then there will be this rubber band effect. And we're going to have this Israel war that is going to be so great, so big. And you're going to be the champion of Israel because no one's ever been greater than Trump. And he'll come and swing in for the next phase.
Yeah.
And, maybe.
I feel like we've been saying that for a while. Like, we had George Bush, 8 years. Or Bill Clinton, 8 years. George Bush, 8 years. Nobody could be again. Like, there was nobody who didn't get an 8-year run if they got in. Biden, 8 years. Or Obama, same thing. Obama, 8 years. And then Donald Trump, 4 years, fuck it up. Biden, 4 years, fuck it up. Trump, 4 years. Like, just such a jarring. I think there's value to it. I think there's definitely value in just, like, in these, like, 8-year spans that former presidents had, you didn't have the chance for the younger crowd to see, like, the difference, the dichotomy between here's what it is under them, here's what it is under them. Yes, both suck, but also you're seeing this, like, pendulum shift back and forth so rapidly now that I think it might have some adverse effect to what they're going for, to where people are like, oh, you both suck. Somebody sucks a little bit less, but you both suck. And now paying attention to, Donald Trump showing up at the Libertarian convention and giving that some credence. I don't know. I as always, I suspect it's all controlled. I don't know for sure that it is. I hope that it's not, because if it is all controlled and the Libertarians are getting some notoriety, then that means that's all controlled too, and it's all for a reason, and we're just a pawn in their game.
Sure.
What do you think?
That sounds most likely to me, and I know, like, it would be silly for you to. I assume that Trump he does not want third parties. We are an obstacle. You every 4 years you come out, you get your 2 or 3%. What if we were together? We would always win.
Right.
Like, that's what his goal is. His goal is to get that 3% always on this side, so that there will maybe, like, that would create. Just say you got rid of, he used the word democracy. So you got rid of third parties, just like they're doing in New York and other states, just kind of phasing them out, making it, like, regulating them out of existence. Essentially, you have to pay to play. You don't have the money. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked that, like, there's a PR campaign to try and get libertarians on the Republican side, or merge, if you could, imagine something like that. I could definitely see it, dude. And we are, the people outside of the party understand our power more than the people in the party. I definitely believe that. So just, keep your eyes open. Watch out.
Yeah, keep your eyes open, and also, like, I don't know. With the Q stuff, it felt like, to me, in the aftermath, looking back on it, that was kind of a way to convince libertarian-minded folk, or, like, individualist folk, to lay down their arms and wait. Trust the plan. Hold on. He's got this figured
Yeah.
out. You got it. You got it. You got it. Hold on. He's the difference. And now it's like, well, we did that. What do we do now? Well, we ramp it up and make him into the ultimate victim. And no matter what he did with COVID, even though he played right into it and went along with the plan, trust the plan. Keep trusting the plan. Forget about that for a second. Kennedy's not an anti-vax guy. That's ridiculous. It's me, Trump. You know me. And, hire me, libertarians. It feels like the Libertarian, and I don't know, this could be a criticism of the Libertarian Party doing this. Like, you know me, you know that I like the circus that's happening and wish that I could be there. But what if it's just Trump's people being like, well, we got to ramp it up. We got to get the Boogaloo 2.0 and the QAnon, next generation on board, and all we got to do is show up and say a couple libertarian things, say they're real smart and pretty, and then we'll go back to Trump being the pawn that he is and the Antichrist victim that he is. So
the good point, and you reminded me that I wanted to say this is a ripe opportunity for an inside job, so everybody be super on the lookout, because
obviously the deep state is not in favor of this guy that they've been attacking for 6 years, right? Obviously that's not the case.
Right. I mean, there's going to be just our own people. There are libertarians who are going to be triggered out of their fucking mind. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people packing. I can't imagine this is going to be one big gun-free zone. So,
for Kennedy, it might be.
Maybe he's got his own. Yeah, these are all separate events. Trump's going to come. To your point about Trump's people, they'll be there for Trump and then they'll leave. You know what I mean? He's coming in for a couple hours and then he'll leave. We'll handle our business. And yeah, I mean, I've heard my take on all this basically is if you are so light in the philosophy that you could just be like, well, this is the best. I'm a Republican now. Well, then you didn't really get it.
I don't know.
So
their propaganda is strong. Like, assuming that this is propaganda to convince libertarians to vote for Trump, they're doing pretty good.
So I'll say this, man. Lots of millions and millions and millions of libertarians voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020. Yep. That's a fact. Millions of libertarians did because they don't care about Austrian econ and, populism, that message of just, the big guy is taking from you. That's a lot simpler, man. And it is a two-party system. So, he'll probably get lots of libertarian votes again. It's not even the end of the world to vote for Trump. I already said on your show that if the libertarian fucks up badly enough, I might do it. I didn't do it any of the other 2 times. Put Vivek on there.
Would it require a certain running mate? Like if it was Nikki Haley? Is there any
no chance. Yeah, there's people that would make me go, and there's people that would make me go, okay, I'm in, and people that would.
So Trump, Vivek, perhaps if the libertarians drop the ball.
If the libertarians drop the ball,
if the libertarians drop the ball, and Trump, Haley, what are you doing?
RFK.
Okay.
And
I said that I was a whore earlier. I'm not as big of a whore as Dave.
I'm literally, every time I vote, it's a protest vote. That's what I am doing anyway. I'm protesting, and I live in Delaware, so it doesn't. It's just a protest vote.
I live in Illinois. Like, it means absolutely nothing.
Right.
None of it means anything.
So we get to do this. We don't live in PA, swing state, where everything's on the line and you need to fucking buckle down. No. You get to virtue signal and go, I used my protest vote, and here's why, whatever. But I've already given my reasons why those guys have certain appeal.
Again, I worked on the Joe Jorgensen Spike Cohen campaign, and I still didn't vote for Joe Jorgensen. I voted for Spike twice. But now, so again, also, hire me doesn't mean I'm voting for you. Doesn't mean I endorse you. I've worked on 3 of the 5 main campaigns so far, and I'll work on yours too. And that's why I'm here, grifting my ass off right before the nomination process. But do you think that, so you remember when Iran, they got some flack from Israel, and then Iran bombed the dome like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
So now Iran's president is dead, just mysteriously died in a fog in a helicopter crash, and that's where we're going to leave it. That's where everybody's going to leave it. Do you think there's nothing more to this, is there, Dave?
I mean, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but like when you
There's
know your
always
enemy,
more.
yeah, when you know your enemy and you know history and what they're capable of and what they have declared, and you're up on current events, and this is not a court of law, you have to prove to me that you didn't do that. That's
Right.
that's my default starting point.
Yeah. Agreed. Now, I'm trying to figure out where to cut the. We've got a bunch of social fun stuff, not political stuff. I mean, social politics for the after party, and I don't want to, you know, push this too much further because we've covered a lot, and we had a presidential candidate on our show today, which used to be a big deal back in the early days, and now it's just Toad at the airport saying y'all losers, and he's right, but
He's going down there, dude.
He's going.
I really like that
Would
guy
he
a
be
lot.
going? Would he be going at all if Trump and Kennedy and all would he be going if the circus wasn't there and it was just our top 5 presidential candidates and Clint?
I mean, maybe. I met Toad in Reno. At an LNC event in Boston. Chatted with him. I saw him again in Reno, and he's read lots of the literature. I know he's based and racist and all the things, but he's also really smart, and a little bit of chaos energy I think goes a long way. I hate to put him in the vermin supreme category, but I do.
No,
like
absolutely.
Those,
he is.
those
Vermin
guys
would
are
hate for you to put him in that category too, and he would hate to be put in the vermin category, but that's absolutely.
He's not a filthy
the appeal.
communist. He's just
Right.
the
He's just a filthy racist instead.
right, and he's the
You
wild
take the
card.
good, you take the
We'll call
bad.
it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like him a lot. I wish that he was on that debate stage because I think that would go a long way. But that's cool. He's going, and he's interested enough. He takes a bunch of shit from the Tower Gang guys about even participating. But that's funny. 2 out of the 5 guys are like literally running for president, vice president.
That's where we're at. Like, as unqualified as I feel to run for anything or have any real voice in this movement, we've got 2 of the guys from Tower Power Hour running for president and vice president, and they're not even close to the worst.
Yeah, bro. Smotz Casey is definitely in the cards for 2028. I'm not taking it off the table.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, we've got time. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to need some libertarians to step up and pay a couple of, not just mine, but your bills to actually care a little bit and, start pitching in for people that are doing the on-the-ground work that Dave Casey is not going to get paid for this weekend, but we're going to make you guys some wonderful content that because all of you are schmucks that can be there either, like Chris O, who says I'm in the same boat as Dan, already booked. Hopefully next time it won't be on Memorial Day weekend. Book us. Get your shit together. Like, you don't even have to do the work. We'll do the work, but we can't do the work if you don't care at least enough to support people that are making content because they're passionate about it. I would encourage you, even more than supporting us, to go out and make it yourself. But you're not gonna. Let's be honest. Just support us doing it, and then we'll do it. Now, one more thing before we jump over into the after party and talk about some feminism, some slavery, some cannibalism. But I repeat myself. This is from economist.com/Europe. So you know it's legit. Volodymyr Zelensky's 5-year term ends on May 20th, but he has no plans to step down or call an election during wartime. So May 20th was 2 days ago as the recording of this episode, and Zelensky is still in power in his very free and fair democracy that we should be supporting with our dollars to save them from the evil dictators who do not hold elections in Russia. Right, Dave?
Oh, man, why do we have to support Nazis whenever they rise their heads up? Why does that feel like that's what we're doing?
Because the Mises Caucus is doing good work, Dave.
Just saying, if you cancel all the newspapers and you cancel the elections and you cancel the radio stations and, I don't know if you can claim that you're doing this for democracy anymore.
Transparency. It's all about transparency and being real with your voters. These are victims, Dave. Volodymyr Zelensky and his Vogue magazine cover shoot with his wife during wartime. They had time to do that, but not time in the middle of a war to hold an election. Because can you imagine if, Donald Trump gets elected And 2 years later, we're deep into World War III, and Donald Trump's like, well, or I guess 4 years later, well, there's nothing I can do. We're not going to hold an election. Democracy and all, yes, but we're not going to hold an election because we're at wartime. So it's a legitimate reason to not shoot, like, in the middle of a war.
Yes, I
when
can.
there's
Yes, I
definitely
can imagine that.
strong feelings of two sides to that war, to be like, well, we don't get to hold an election right now because obviously I'm the right choice to lead us forward in this war. Can you imagine being opposed to the Ukraine war, as we are, and being a Ukraine citizen who's like, yeah, I guess, keep going.
I mean, I can imagine Trump doing that. I absolutely can, and I can imagine
I can't.
half of.
I can imagine the media saying he's going to do it, as they always do. But the thing that they've been saying Donald Trump would do every time he says, "Yeah, I'll go for a third term," they're like, "Yeah, he's serious." Then we've got Zelensky, who's like, "I'm really going to," and you don't have a choice.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. His people would love that. You don't think that 9 out of 10 Trump supporters would go, he was robbed in 2020, so he gets a third one? They would, of course, agree with that. And
Sure.
to be fair, the other side, if you polled, hardline Democrat voters, should we abolish the, like Joy Behar? It's a Nazi party, so it should be abolished, right? Of course,
Right.
it's ultimate evil. But you ask the other side, they'll say the same thing. I'm saying America is ready to get rid of democracy as a whole. They want their people to be, of course, the ones holding the ring of power, but they are ready, primed to get rid of all of this crap.
Yeah.
And welcome a strong man.
Now, do you think that's a good thing?
So I think it'll if they do that, if something like that happens, dude, it'll probably feel good. Like, we're gonna Nuremberg too, like that kind of shit. That's probably what it'll feel like, but that won't be what it actually is.
I mean,
So-
if we're in the middle of World War III and it's like 2028 and we're like, we have to hold this election and Michelle Obama's fucking killing it and it's going to be her versus Donald Trump going for term 3. Even then, I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully the Libertarians have some shit together by then because...
So, yeah, I mean, I'll try not to, I have already and it's deeply ingrained, but I don't romanticize democracy these days. You and I have talked today. We don't really even believe in the power of our vote. So like, would it be so much worse? I think it's really just kind of like the faith in the institution that most people have, that if it goes away would be like, what, like a moment of chaos. Yeah. Devastation.
Yeah. It's their entire identity, and all of their patriotism is wrapped up in, we chose this, and this is what we have to deal with because we as people chose it. But did you? And also, did you vote for this? Or did you vote for what they said on the campaign trail? I don't know. But lots of fun stuff coming down the pike. And Dave, any predictions on where the Libertarians land after next week? Or not next week, this week, after like a couple days from now, where the Libertarians, we have our nominee, we've got all of this publicity, chaos, circus, and everything. Do you think we come out shining? Do you think we come out same or worse?
Well, I think we'll get a little boost with publicity and maybe membership. We always get a membership boost when there's a presidential campaign. Regardless of who it is.
Yeah.
How to maintain that, we could talk a little bit more about. But no, I think this is definitely good. It's an exciting time to be a libertarian. And we owe Angela a lot of credit for that, Mike Heiss and Dave Smith a lot of credit for that.
It's great and all, but I'm saying, like, what is the media saying a week from now?
Nothing good. Because unlike Trump, who will at least kiss our ass and go, libertarians are good people. No, the regime wants to make sure that people know that we are alt-right, racists, nationalists, fascists, Trump supporting, that's the narrative we're going to get. So just always be ready for that.
Yeah. I mean, we were getting that 2 years ago. Like all the Southern Poverty Law Center clips that I smashed into the Mises Caucus thing. Like ever since the takeover, whatever, ever since Reno, immediately the Southern Poverty Law Center started writing about us and saying that we were going to be, Donald Trump supporters, right-wing, authoritarians, anti-LGBTQ, all these things. And I don't know. We're still going.
Bro, I heard this is our time, bro. Dave Smith was just on Rogan again, and right after him, he had Eric Prince of Blackwater, private military force.
Oh.
And he mentioned the Mises Caucus.
Oh.
That guy. Yeah, bro. Which,
wait,
honestly,
the Blackwater guy mentioned the Mises Caucus or Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Blackwater.
What'd he say?
I know. I don't know. I have to go find the clip. But
you find that clip, and I'm going to be kicking myself for not waiting another day and sticking it in the ad if Blackwater guy is talking about.
Yep.
Mises
And
Caucus.
I bet you, you know, like his reputation has shifted. He's gone through a little, like 10 years ago, I was like, yo, you need to be aware of this. This guy is like, you know, I'm not saying we need a standing army, but definitely not one that parallels, that like works for the agency in secret, no oath taking. And so all this stuff was very alarming to me. But, you know, you ask another libertarian, it'll be like, well, it's private. So it's good. So I don't know. I don't know too much about that guy, but it worries me a little bit because those are the kind of institutions that he would get hired to infiltrate your movement. He could put people in places of power or just, you know, get information. I think they've already been used to do that kind of stuff.
Right. Now, to end, we've got probably Clint Russell debating Vivek Ramaswamy. Beautiful. We've got...
if it's Larry Sharpe, you guys failed.
I love Larry as a car salesman in New York. But I really want... like, if we're getting anybody who's running for VP slot to debate Vivek Ramaswamy, I do endorse... Okay, I haven't given any endorsement. As far as I've seen from any VP slot, Clint Russell, certainly. I mean, the bar is
so
low,
brave.
and I love Larry.
Talk about a virtue signal. So brave of Smotz to endorse.
I know it's an easy one. I wish it was easier to endorse a presidential candidate. So you know, that's not on me. But I hope that it's Clint Russell. I will certainly take Larry Sharpe. I will enjoy watching Larry Sharpe debate Vivek Ramaswamy as well, because even just pushing Vivek on libertarian stuff that he hasn't been pushed on. He's gotten like the question from the crowd at Porkfest and stuff like that. But having any principled enough libertarian, like just having a chance to, you know, pick his brain, I think is valuable.
Oh my God. I would just be the guy cheering on Vivek, bullying him. Just, yeah. I'm going to register to fucking Republican if that's the case.
Cheering on Vivek, bullying Larry?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, we've talked about this before, but that guy is unremarkable. Wouldn't stand a chance debating even libertarian shit with Vivek, bro. He was awful on Joe Rogan, just talking about school. Couldn't even articulate that.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, really? Good, because it was boring. It was super, like, it was cringe and boring.
I did watch every single debate that Vivek was in, and I can break down his high points and his low points and everything about it. Did not watch, unfortunately, Larry Sharpe on whatever. I don't think Larry Sharpe debating Vivek would be a loss. I'll say that. Like, I think those two minds, whether you love them or hate them, I don't love or hate either of them. I think those two minds going back and forth would be a service to at least the conversation. I think Clint Russell absolutely should be the person doing it, and it would be way more productive and get to the heart of the matter much quicker than Larry Sharpe versus Vivek. But I digress. So the presidential nomination or debate is happening, and the nomination short to follow. That's happening right before Trump speaking, and we're still teasing one of the presidential candidates going up against Kennedy and Donald Trump in a debate, which I kind of doubt will happen. But if it does happen, I don't know how that will go, and I have concerns. But we'll see. We can speculate a lot.
You know, one more speculation. I've said since the beginning that Vivek and Trump had a deal, and that those are the guys. They've been the ticket. Recently, I've been, you know, little shaken on that. But this event, I didn't really think about it. But like Vivek being there with Trump, debating a VP candidate.
Yep.
With like that is very.
Even if it's just for show, and Vivek is there to just taking an opportunity to debate somebody, and we're like, we'll throw our VP up against it. Like that is kind of pressuring Trump to have him as the VP if he's not sold on it. And a week ago we had Trump Haley as the top choice.
Well, I mean, I bet you Vivek had his people call if they weren't working on this together. Then once Trump was in, I bet you he called, hey, man, I'd like to be a part of this too. Can I come there? I'm sure that he didn't go around Trump, never mention it.
He wants to be a part of our thing.
Yeah. So it reinforces my theory that those guys have been in cahoots the whole time.
Agreed. It'll be fun. And I don't know what'll happen. Like, I have a wedding on Saturday. Who knows when I'll just pull out my phone and start doing a live stream, just bitching about everything that I'm missing. But Dave, we'll be in touch, and if something comes up, we will report on it, and if not, we will report on it after. And C-SPAN at least will be there because they've supported us since the beginning. Good on them for it, and welcome to all the other corporate medias who are finally taking notice and taking names. And I hope that we get. I think that value will come out of it. It'll be chaotic value, which I thrive on. But again, whoever gets the nomination, hire me. If you want them to hire me, go, I don't know, bully them on the internet or something until they hire me, because I'm here for it, and I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for Angela, bring all these people in. I think that has value. I think that even if it's Chase Oliver or Lars Mapstead, or Jacob Hornberger, I don't think value is completely lost. And I think that we should take every opportunity to make as many ripples as we possibly can with any opportunity that we're given. Again, Vermin Supreme, Joe Jorgensen, worked on their campaigns, did the best I could. So, yeah, it's not going to be the convention is going to get a lot of eyeballs. That doesn't mean the campaign is going to get necessarily a lot of eyeballs, and I would like to do my best to help it do so humbly. But y'all motherfuckers better, get some shit together and realize the times that we're living in and how much propaganda matters. When everything that you see, every time you open your phone is propaganda, hire a propagandist and do that. This has been my grift right before the campaign. Dave, any final thoughts? And let's go talk about social shit.
Yeah, man, just one more time. Wish you were going to be there, but I will be the man on the street, and my mic will be rammed in people's face. When you're the press, they just let you do it. They let you get away with anything. Yeah. So I'll be everywhere, dude. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm pumped. And I'll get all that footage to you, and maybe we'll make something cool. But
we will.
The only way, or the only place that I part ways from you is that, and this is probably because I'm not the Illuminati that can, work for any and all candidates. Because I would take their money, but I would definitely not be supporting anybody that the Libertarians put up. So this is kind of make it or break it for me. I won't
definitely will not be supporting anybody that the Libertarians put up.
No. I mean, they need to do. They need to do good. And we didn't even talk about this today. About anybody who's running for president that isn't vaccinated, I'm good with. I'll tolerate, at least. Which isn't just because of that. It's just weird that the issues fall along those lines as well. So you know who those people are. But yeah, if you step outside of those lines, I'm going over to the Ramaswamy tent. Y'all can suck it. Find me on Twitter.
Dave, from old school Democrat living in Delaware, to Libertarian for many, many years. Aged, wise, weathered Libertarian. In it far longer than me. Just like, fuck it, GOP. Y'all make it happen or I'm out. Yeah.
This is what happens when you get old. The old joke that you're...
I'm going to go the other way. I came from the GOP upbringing. Libertarianism for a bit. Wise and weathered enough. If y'all fuck it up, I'm voting for Joe Biden. All right? There. You want an endorsement? Joe Biden.
Look at that.
Fuck it. Yep. Don't care. Collapsitarian. Going full collapsitarian. I mean, I was Joe Exotic. Democrat since the beginning of this.
I am a Joe Exotic Democrat.
I will, I dabbled in the Kennedy stuff. Democrat, obviously. And I'll go full Biden. You push me there. You don't hire me? Biden. This is not an endorsement of anything. This is a threat.
Yeah,
this is a grifting threat. Hire me, or I'm going full Biden collapsitarian.
That is where I'm at. I'm not endorsing everything RFK says or Trump says. Christ. No. It's more like I'm protesting. You're my new protest vote. My protest vote went weird. So no, I have to go protest somewhere else. That's really what it is. So let's not fuck this up.
If you're going to write me in. Write me in for president. Write me in for video. Write me in for whatever you want. Because I'm protesting just y'all not hiring me. And that's free market capitalism, baby. We're libertarians around here. Now, I'm going to go pee. And Dave's going to too. And I'm going to find out how much time he has left and how much after party we can get into. But thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Keep an eye on your boy Donald Trump for multiple reasons. Make sure wellness checks, all those things, but also like keep an eye on him and make sure he's not, QAnoning it up. Dave, I need to get your final thoughts to Steve here, and I'm just going to let you do it because you won't talk over me. So go ahead, lay it all out there. Let's end it.
Hey, I'm checking in. Tell me,
Steve.
What's going on?
All right, so look, man. For the past 7 years, we've been trying to rehab this party that's been super gay, super embarrassing, super woke. All the while, they've been accusing us of being Nazis, white supremacists, Trump supporters, and everything else you could possibly think of. All the while, that's not true. But as it turns out, we're going to roll out the red carpet for Trump. And he's going to give a really great, big, beautiful speech that's going to inspire so many libertarians to switch parties. And then we're going to consolidate, because it's not about decentralization, it's about centralization. You know what I'm saying, Steve? So we need to consolidate power to fuck up the Democratic Party, merge